So back in January this year, we had the release of Prismatic, and we know how ridiculously expensive that set was and how hard it was to get. Now we've started to see a few more products hit the shelves, especially over in the US. Here in the UK is a little bit of a different story. So today we'll be going through all things Prismatic. I'll be going through with you guys what has been going on regarding sealed product and getting more stock to everybody, really. We're going over the overall value of the set, what's been going on with the biggest chase cards in the set, and I'll also be going through what's going on over here in the UK. It ain't looking very good for us. Let's get into it. Right, we are on PokeJace.io looking at the overall set of Prismatic. And as you can see, the total value of the set is nearly 5k. That is insane. But it was around about 8-9k at one point, so it has fallen a lot. It is still by far the highest value set in English in the Scarlet and Violet era. I think the second most expensive one is probably Destined Rivals, but right now Prismatic 5k is still very, very high. There are a lot of big chase cards, but one thing that definitely holds up that value is the Master Ball reverses as well, because there's a lot of them and they do hold lots and lots of little bits of value, and it does add up quite substantially. So let's take a look at some of the biggest cards from the set. And of course, the biggest cards pretty much across the board are the evolutions, and they have fallen. So let's take a look at the Umbreon is the first one we're going to look at today. We're looking at 927 on eBay, 1,000 on TCG Player. With PSA 10, we're looking at 2.6k basically, which is still a fair amount, of course. But we look, right, since the set came out, over the past 6 months, when the set was released, this is the PSA 10 price, 5.5k, and now we're looking at 2.5k. So it's dropped $3,000 in a PSA 10, which is a lot, to be honest. So this is the raw price as well. So we've got the orange here, which is TCG Player, the blue, which is the average market price, and TCG Player was slightly above the average market price pretty much the whole way, but it's leveled out a bit more now. But it had fallen, right? It had fallen from $2,000 down to now $1,000 or under $1,000. So it's dropped 50% since its release. And I think it will continue to drop even more, mainly because more packs are getting opened. We are getting restocks. We are getting new products coming with a new premium collection box as well, which will have the figures and some really nice promos in there as well. That comes with 11 packs. That's a good way of getting packs into the hands of people. It is a really tough card to pull, however, so that would keep things, afloat. But a card still sitting raw this new at $1,000 is ridiculously high. So I do expect it to fall, but it's still going to be several $100 raw price as well. And then moving on, we've got the Sylveon as well, which is one of my favorite cards in the set. We're looking at 320 in eBay, 390 on TCG Player, PSA 10, 870, so still quite a bit. But look at that PSA 10 price drop from 2.2k, dropped more than 50% over the past 6 months. And then raw price, TCG Player still being way ahead of the average market price. I mean, look at this. TCG Player was over $150 more expensive. So be wary of TCG Player, just because it's a little bit sus sometimes on the pricing of that. But it's a little bit closer. I mean, I say a little bit. It's still $70 difference between TCG Player and the rest of the market. But still a very, very nice card nonetheless. So pretty much a lot of the big heavy hitters are dropping in price. And even if you look, still this is an incredible set, right? I judge the set on how many cards are in the set that are $100 or more, $50 or more, and so on and so forth. We have so many cards that are above that $100 mark. I mean, that is basically smack bang on the 100. But if we look, we've got 5, 10 cards that are over $100 and quite a bit over $100. Aurora Moon is the only non-EV card that fills that slot. But then you've got the Dragapult at 100. You've got the Ceruledge as well, like 97. Look how many cards you got over 50. I mean, that is just impressive. It really, really is impressive. Recently, I did actually get the Umbreon Master Ball. I'm intrigued to see how much this is these days. This one, you're looking around $80 raw, 500 in a PSA 10. I do have one. I want to try and get it graded. But PSA price, I mean, isn't the best. I mean, the raw price has fallen so heavily. I mean, look at this raw price. Bang, that has fallen from $700 down to 80. Whoa, that is spicy. But yeah, across the board, we're looking at a lot of value. And to be honest, even the full art trainer cards, which I'm not a fan of, are still fetching relatively high prices. Like, these are like the values of some of the big chase cards in other sets. which is, you know, pretty impressive. And of course, you've got the Master Balls as well, which I said, which were keeping things afloat with that price, right? Because if you scroll further down, you can see we've got other Master Balls as well, even adding up that $10 and so on and so forth, $15, $20. It all adds up, and that's what drives the value overall from this set. Some people don't really rate Master Balls, like the novelty, I guess, of it is worn off a little bit. But it's good if you get one of the EVs, but if you don't get one of the EVs, it feels kind of bad. So, you know, keep that one in mind. I mean, graded, let's go look at the Sylveon, for example. So Sylveon graded is $165, which actually isn't too bad, but they have fallen so heavily in price. So overall, I think the value of the set will fall, and I also think that a lot of cards in this set will continue to fall with more packs getting open, more packs being released, and getting in the hands of people. Okay, so we're on TCG Player. We're looking at the normal ETB. This thing has dropped. I mean, we're looking at $108 right now. As you can see, 3 months ago, it was $135, which is, in my opinion, ridiculously expensive. But it was even higher, right? We're looking at, you know, roughly around $140 in ETB when the set first came out. And it did actually dip to below 100, but it trickled back up, pushing towards 110. So, you know, if you look about the past 3 months, you go, oh, look, you know, it's dropped 20%. But it's still pretty much double the price of which it should be, which is obviously the recommended retail price, the MSRP, which is roughly around, what, $50, $55. So, yeah, this is way more expensive than what it should be. I don't think it should be over 100, but it is holding relatively well. It only really dipped below 100 very recently, but it bounced back quite nicely. And we need a lot of reprints. And, you know, Pokemon did say that they're going to print a lot of Prismatic, but will it be the ETB? You look here, $110. You look at Pokemon 151, prime example. A lot of 151 has hit the market, a lot. Booster bundles and Blooming Waters have flooded the market full of 151 packs. But you look at the ETB, rarely reprinted. That's holding a crazy amount of money. So it's interesting to see if they're going to make more of these ETBs or not. I don't think they will. I think they'll look at bringing out other stuff and reprinting some other products. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Prismatic. They did say they were going to produce more and reprint more. I think that would probably come towards the end of the year, if not into 2026. But right now, sitting above $100, I mean, it getting to MSRP, I really don't see it happening. I think it's going to keep staying and bouncing around the 100 plus range for a while. It may dip under 100, potentially if a big reprint comes, but going down to MSRP, I think this set is a bit too strong for that. Then we've got the SPC, the Super Premium Collection Box. This one we're looking at $210. This one has fallen quite heavily. It's dropped 40% over the past month. However, it's gained a little bit of value. And I've said this before, I think anything under 200 is a really good deal with this product, mainly because it's got some really cool, unique stuff. Of course, you've got the playmats and the accessories, the promos and everything else that you get in this product. But you also get a decent amount of packs. And if you were to compare this to the 151 Ultra Premium Collection Box, this one's a little bit different. It comes with only one promo compared to 3, but it is just solely Prismatic. It's not like the Charizard one, we have a mixture of different packs, or the Terrapagos one, again, where you have a mixture of packs and different sets. You don't have that. I felt like they released quite a bit of these, like as their initial release, but because it just gets absorbed so quickly and the prices are so high, it's, you know, not really shifting maybe as much as we thought. But still, a lot of them are getting sold, I guess, on a daily basis. But it's an interesting one. You know, here in the UK, for this one, we're looking around about 150-ish, 150, 160 for that, which, again, I don't think is too bad, especially with the market price of what's going on in the UK, which we'll get to in a moment. But yeah, I think 200 is still quite pricey. Bear in mind, the retail was, I think, like 90 or something like that. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens. I think down the line, anyway, I think this would be a good one. I do. I think this would be a very good product in that sweet long term if you compare it to other type of products like this. For instance, the Ultra Premium Collection boxes that have came before it. The other Pokemon Center ETB, this one actually has fallen quite heavily. This one is $220, with a lot of the most recent sold are at around $220. And then we've seen here, you know, drop 34%. We go back in the last 6 months, it's actually dropped quite a lot. I mean, it was, you know, $360. So from $360 down to $220 is a big drop. And I actually picked up quite a lot of these. I was buying a lot of these at roughly around $150 to $180 was pretty much like pounds, which was pretty much the price of what I was paying for these. And I do have quite a lot of them still sealed. I've opened up some just because of, I opened up the ones that, I got for, a pretty good price. And, I was like, you know what, grade the promo and have the packs, sell the packs and go through there. And that was a pretty good way of doing it. But now it's interesting. The promos dropped quite a lot in value in non-graded and graded just because there's been so many. But yeah, I still think, because it's Pokemon Center, I still think it's going to be very good. I think it's going to perform very, very well. So if you do have some of these, keep hold of them, don't open them. And then finally, we've got the booster bundle, which is usually the cheapest alternative method of getting hold of packs. This one here, we're looking at just under $70, $68 right now. Recently sold, does range anywhere between $62 to $72. And it's dropped, right? Dropped 15%. We go back over the last 6 months. And overall, it's dropped by 37%. And, you're looking at what, $10 a pack roughly, or just over $10 a pack for Prismatic, which sounds about right. I mean, it's pretty much the price, or just slightly under what it is if you bought an ETB. Broke it down for the packs. This is probably the cheapest way of getting hold of Prismatic packs right now, which is, it does seem still pretty pricey at $10 a pack. But again, I think this is a good way of Pokemon to get more out there. I mean, Palette and Fate's booster bundles, you didn't really see a huge amount of restock and reprints, so hopefully we do get more Prismatic. But this will be a good way of them getting packs in the hands of people at a much quicker and higher volume rate. So over here in the UK, these are ones that are listed. So we have here £100, just under 100 including delivery, 104, 105. You got 2 here for 180, so that's not too bad. So you're looking at around about 100-ish pounds, right, for an ETB. So you're looking at more than £10 a booster pack for Prismatic if you went ahead and bought some ETBs. And the ETBs are holding quite strong. They are, in all honesty, they're doing very, very well. So keep that one in mind. Personally, I think that they are still too expensive. We haven't really had a restock or a reprint of these for a while. If we look at the booster bundles, so booster bundles here, £50, 53, 60, that one's quite expensive, 50. So let's say, I mean, the £60 ones are quite pricey, but let's say you got 10 here for just over 50. You got one here, sealed case, that's quite pricey, $670. I mean, if you value that. If you want to open it anyway, you're looking at about 53. So this is still the cheapest way, just under £9 a pack if you want to pick up some Prismatics. If you are looking at cracking some packs and having some fun, then the booster bundles is probably the best way to go. But yeah, it's about just under £9 a booster pack. And then the super premium collection, yeah, about 150. Yeah, 151, 150 there, 151 there. You got a few that are a little bit more expensive, but roughly around 150 to 160. I mean, I think anything under 200, if you're looking for that sealed investment, I think that would do very well. If you're looking to open it, the promo is actually, roughly around £20. Accessories are roughly around 20, about 20, 25. So say 50 overall for all of it. So the promo and all of the accessories, you're looking at about £100 for what, 15 packs, which actually isn't that bad. Which actually works out about £7 a pack, or just under £7 a pack. So keep that in mind. If you do want to sell all the bits and you just want to have the packs, this actually might be the most cost-efficient way, actually more than the booster bundle, which is actually quite surprising. But if you want to keep it sealed, I do think it's good. It is big and bulky. I mean, will more of this hit the shelves? Will more get printed? I don't know. It's really difficult to tell with these type of products. We did see a lot for 151, but there was a massive release to begin with. And we did see reprints of the Charizard one, but we'll have to wait and see. I think this will probably go the same way as 151, as in big initial release and then dries out. So there you have it, guys. That's what's going on with Prismatic. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What you think about this set, right? Do you think things will get a lot cheaper? Do you think we'll be seeing certain products get to MSRP? I think it's going to be very, very difficult for this set to get close to MSRP. And the main reason is the value in this set is just too high. For a set that's worth $5,000 for the entire set is incredibly high. When you have, the best way of looking at it is having the estimated value of what you could find and what that set could bring compared to what you're paying for. And at the moment, this set is so expensive in value, even though it's dropped from that 9K down to 5K, a 5K standard set is ridiculously high, especially for a set that's like 6 months old. So for me, I think that we'll potentially see prices drop and continue to drop for the single cards, absolutely. but I think with like ETBs and certain seal products, I think that they would get reduced in value. You know, you're going to see potentially ETBs go under $100, under £100, and then that'll probably be about it. But I just do not see them reaching that 50, 55 or whatever it is range. And then the SPC all depends if they're going to print more. I think booster bundles, you know, they might go the 151 route and print more booster bundles. Therefore, you'll get, you know, more packs out there and things might be reduced. But you could end up going the ETB route with 151. Didn't really see much in the way of ETB reprints. They pumped out Blooming Waters. They pumped out booster bundles. A lot of 151 hit the market. And like loose packs and stuff, yeah, pretty cheap. I say pretty cheap, but cheaper. But then you look at an ETB, very, very expensive. So Prismatic might end up going the same way if they feel like, yeah, an ETB is not the most effective way of getting more product into the hands of people. They may go, hang on a minute, this figure collection that comes with 11 packs, quite similar to, you know, Blooming Waters that came with 12 packs. We could keep pumping out that and hopefully get some, you know, good amount of packs to people, or we can do booster bundles, which would be another really good way as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how they approach things in the future. But I think if you're going to keep things sealed right now, I really don't see it going down to MSRP. So if you're sitting there and you're holding out and you're like, oh, well, I think it'll go to MSRP, I think it'll go to MSRP, tackle that with a bit of caution, because it just might not. It might do, but also it might not. But that is it from me, guys, in today's video. Hopefully we'll get some more Prismatic soon, especially here in the UK, because it's drying up like crazy. But if you want more Pokemon content, make sure to click the video on the screen, and of course make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.